You know I miss the cold, I hate the summertime. I am the king of wasting time, and I feel bad about it. Lately I don't feel blue, no longer doom and gloom. Beautiful flower, I bloom, found my way out of my tomb. Never could have guessed that the worst things I have ever faced will leave me standing tall today. My spirit is sick. Never could have guessed that the first time that I saw her face, I would wake up at her place. The goddamn smile on my face, like I'm doing good. Not likely that I'll ever get my shit together. Half my life I felt like I was under the weather. All my future endeavors I fought for dog. Getting fucked up in the train tracks, never wanna take those days back. I know I was young, I was living my life like you goddamn idiot. Started shit and we finished it, at least I live my life with style. I no longer feel so blind. I feel a fire again, I feel a spark inside my heart, I feel alive again. I feel a fire again, I feel a spark inside my heart, I feel alive again. I feel the fire it burns. I feel a fire again, I feel a spark inside my heart, I feel alive again. You know I miss the boys, they're out in Santa Cruz. Some days wish I lived on the moon, never had to meet another douchebag. Think back to when I met the boys, age 19. We were living on Chandler Street, fucking it up in December. Never could have guessed that all the times we cheated dead, I'll be standing here with my head, my heart, my spirit somewhat insane. Really should have guessed that all the times that we got faded, that my brain might get downgraded. Thank God, I think I'm feeling alright. I feel a fire again, I feel a spark inside my heart, I feel alive again. I feel a fire again, I feel a spark inside my heart, I feel alive again. I feel the fire it burns. I feel a fire again, I feel a spark inside my heart, I feel alive again. I just got sick of the lose, so I decided to grow. Yeah, and decided to glue. Sick of the lows. I just got sick of the lows, so I decided to grow. Yeah, and decided to glue. Sick of the lows. I just got sick of the lows, so I decided to grow. Yeah, and decided to glue. Sick of the lows. The blood has spilled onto our hands. The drugs they drip coursing through our veins. Violence, violence, show your face. Show me we're all the same. Violence, beautiful violence, break my faith. And it's broken anyway.
Yo, what is up, everyone? All right, there it is. How's everyone doing today? Uh, Couple things. One, glad to be back. I was for those of you that are from Discord. Oh, for those of you that are from Discord, I was gone at a music festival in Chicago, Illinois. It was a lot of fun. I was probably like the whitest guy for miles because it was a Hispanic festival, but man, it was a lot of fun. A lot of drinking, a lot of fun. But back to business. We pretty much called this fake pump to the key. I didn't think we'd get such a large red candle so quickly. But then again, this is crypto. Red Jackal, man, I'm doing good. I was doing good. I don't know what the deal is. I think I'm building an intolerance to eggs. I've been eating eggs my whole life, and I don't. There's like the last couple weeks, every time I eat eggs, my stomach like starts to hurt, and I know it's specifically eggs. It's right after I eat. I make like an egg, potato, cheese, and like ham, like omelet, and every single time I eat it, my stomach goes to shit. And I eat potatoes, ham, and cheese all the time. It's only when the eggs are in there. Great shorts today, yeah. For I made the call for the students and the people that pay for Patreon. I think I said something in Discord, but you guys know I pretty much said that the pump was fake and we're most likely going to dump. Yo, what's up, Crypto Mike? How's it going, man? Good to see you. Don't know who's from Discord. Man, sometimes I don't even know who half the people are in Discord that come into here. Time to go long, bro. It is definitely not time to go long yet. There aren't zero reversal signals. Bullish div on daily RSI 4 days ago. Is it going to hold? There is no bullish divergence on daily RSI. Okay, guys, divergence is if price does this and RSI does that. This is divergence. You have to put in lower lows. This is our low, and this is a higher low, and this is not divergence. Just so you understand what divergence is, because I had someone like come after me yesterday while I was like literally chilling, and some guy goes, "You don't understand. There's divergence on the daily," and guys, like this is not divergence. So this guy looked like a complete fool because I'm sure he bought the top, and he was exit liquidity today. Yeah, Kyle, what's the deal with the eggs, man? Maybe they're putting something in them because I've eaten eggs my whole life, and I usually, it's not like I'm eating 10 eggs at a time. I have 2 eggs, and wow, it just like really completely ruined my stomach. I was gonna do the live stream like an hour earlier today, and I was like upstairs in my bed, like curled up like a baby. I was like, oh, and then finally I just caved, took a probiotic, and now I feel somewhat better. Eat fish. I eat fish all the time. Big fan from Thailand. Oh, how you doing? I don't think we have a lot of people from Thailand in here. I gotta check the YouTube statistics. Roman made me $23,000 today. Jesus, that's a lot of money, man. Same guy calling. Yeah, the guy that's calling for 70K that made himself look like a complete fool. Let's pull that up let's actually pull that up. So yeah, I don't know. Some of you guys follow me on Twitter. Some of you don't. This guy, like, I don't know who this guy is. I've never seen him. And so I originally said, if you buy within the last 12 hours, you're just exit liquidity, meaning if you buy right now, you're literally buying the local top because everyone's distributing. We were seeing tens of thousands of Bitcoin come to exchange. And he goes, exit liquidity barely above 31K. Granted, we moved 10%, so 28 to 31K is like a 10% gain. So yes, all those people that want to distribute 10% higher. I went and looked, and this is the same guy that thinks we're going to break all-time highs in a melt-up scenario. Let me see if I can find his tweets. Wow, he tweets a lot, bro. This guy does not have a life, and I think he deletes a lot of tweets. Oh, I'll be very surprised if we don't hit 40K by end of June. Melt up started. 70K melt up. Guys, we are... Okay, it hasn't been announced that we're in a recession, but we are in an economic recession. Gas is like $5.50 here. Like, I went yesterday to the grocery store and I spent fucking $400. $400 for my girlfriend and I. You know what? I'll admit, yeah, I bought a little bit of steak because it was on sale it was half off. Half off. Like, I bought chicken, I bought half off steak, I bought a rack of ribs, and then just like fruits, vegetables, like other shit. And did I buy like a decent amount of shit? Maybe, but I've bought the same amount for less than $150 before. And you know, this guy's got all his bandwagon of people that are, you know, sucking him off. And yeah, we ended up calling the top perfectly there. And honestly, he's just an idiot trader looking for more engagement because YouTube and Twitter engagement are down by 60%. Candle close for divergence, not wicks. No, it still counts wicks. You got to make lower lows. Either way, we did not really close a significant lower low here. Like, I would consider divergence. Excuse me. Like, I would consider divergence here. So, one, there's significant amount of space. Two, we have significant close between these 2 points. This is divergence. This is also divergence. Another significant low. Close inside the wick, also making the double bottom here. Again, kind of making divergence. That is what divergence looks like. Whatever the guys that said yesterday that's divergence, and it doesn't even matter. Guys, just because you see divergence or potential divergence does not always mean it's a bullish scenario. That's like the people that say MACD crossed bullish. We're back to bullish. Okay, well MACD crossed bullish here at 30,000, and now we're at 29.5. So if you're gonna ask my honest opinion, just because one indicator does something does not mean that the whole sentiment flips. I mean, this was obvious from the get-go. You had a pump here, a nice like 10 to 15% pump with low volume on a U.S. holiday. Think about it. Okay, hardly anyone's paying attention to the market, and I know there are other countries and everything that do stuff, but 90% of the crypto movement is when the U.S. is awake and alive, whether it be from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., which I know, 12-hour window, but from 8 p.m. to like 4 a.m., there's nothing. 4 a.m., sometimes there's something because that's Europe's waking up. But again, when the U.S. isn't actively trading, when we have holiday, like the market usually moves in the opposite way it's supposed to go. So we moved up. It was an excellent short opportunity here. You would have made a lot of money putting in shorts. I mean, we're going to go through that trade here in a moment. Just wanted to get a nice little intro. But yeah, I'll go over bullish and bearish divergence. I also have I've got a lot of videos on Patreon if you ever want to watch them. Unfortunately, you got to pay for them, but that's because I put a lot of time and effort into them. What did Egris say about pump? Dude, Egris says we're going to pump and dump every other day. The guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He said here we're going to pump, altcoins are going to pump 50%. Okay, so this was 27th of May. Let's look at Ethereum, 27th of May to where we are now. Okay, so we're back to where we started. Still putting in lower closes. Ultimately, this could be something, but probably not. I mean, the guy flips every other day because he doesn't know what he's doing. And again, try and avoid people that keep flip-flopping every other day. It's just going to waste your time. Why does my room look so empty? Well, this is my basement, and this is so for those of you that don't know, I usually live in Florida, Southern Florida. I moved back home because my grandfather turned 80. All right, story time. My grandfather turned 80, and I spend a lot of time with him, or I used to, until I moved. And I moved back home, mostly because pretty much full-time trading now. I have a lot of freedom. My girlfriend's family lives here. My grandparents live here. Some other family members live here. And I just wanted to, spend time with family. There was also COVID was going on, and I couldn't even do anything. So I was like, why not go home and spend time with family for a couple years and then, buy a sick place in Florida. Well, fast forward, I'm about a year behind, but my problem is the housing market went bonkers. And, do I have the money to buy a house? Sure. But do I want to wait for the housing market crash so I can buy an even bigger house? An even bigger and better house? Or even just a bigger house that I can remodel? Like, absolutely. So ultimately, just kind of waiting for things to reset, things to make more sense, because I don't want to be in the middle of a very expensive projects during recession if shit hits the fan, or I lose a bunch of money, or you know what I mean. Agris is calling all of us perma bears. He blocked me on Twitter. Well, Agris has no idea what he's doing. For those of you that don't know, when I was initially introduced to Agris, he shorted from here to here. So he was shorting all of this, missed this. He did not get any of this. And then he shorted from here all the way up to here, getting liquidated every single time. Now, I don't know if he entered any shorts in here, but I can almost guarantee that he didn't. Because he was buying XRP, right? Why would you buy XRP and short Bitcoin? That makes no sense. Yeah, guys, for those of you that know me, I was bullish in here, and I sold right around here. Did I sell the top? No. Did I get pretty close? Yes. I ended up buying here and selling like right here. Unfortunately, I wish I held. I would have made a lot more. I just didn't think that we were going to play out that all-time high pattern, unfortunately. But either way, I still made about 10-20% on that trade. I was very happy with it. Made like little long trades in here. I mean, honestly, if I would have just kept this original, I would have made a ton of money. That's okay. You live and learn. But yeah, no, Agris, I don't think he's made a big trade ever in his life. I don't know. I don't really talk to him anymore. A lot of those people that I used to talk to, I don't really talk to anymore. Primarily because I just found out that they don't know what they're doing. Like they're never 100% on one thing. Like, guys, I've been bearish. Ultimately, I've been bearish since here, right? So I've been bearish since there. I was, swing trade bullish. I said macro bearish. I was macro bearish here. And to be honest, I was ultimately right. We never really went higher. Yes, did I miss out on this because I sold here and bought here? But regardless, I was bullish here. I sold here when I started seeing exhaustion. I bought here. I sold there. I wish I would have held longer, but bygones be bygones. I've never seen a group of people that call themselves like great traders that have literally flip-flopped so many times. And the other thing that they do is, like, I know what I'm doing. I've been in this market the longest out of all of those influencers that I was once in that group chat. And, like, I had them individually reaching out to me like, bro, what do you think? Bro, what about this? Like, do you think that we're going to do this? Should I short here? Should I long here? And, like, I'm like, dude, you're an analyst. Like, am I not supposed to take your word or take your analysis seriously? And I just had enough of it, and I left the group because I was like, you guys just don't know what you're doing. Like, this is wasting my time. You don't ever make a good call. You're never sticking to one thing. And one green candle shouldn't change your entire bias. Just because we have these 3 green days does not mean that this whole move, this entire move, isn't still bearish. And I just got fed up with it. And Agris is one of those people, and I respect him. He's a friend. If he ever wants to maybe come on a live stream or do a Twitter space, sure. But I don't care to look at their analysis anymore. They're all over the place. Would you take profit for a short at 28? I already took profits on my shorts. What is the objective of your short position, or where are you playing? I already took profits. I was up like 5 or 6%. I made like $2,000 or $3,000 today. I was very happy with it. All right, but let's get into some TA. You guys came here for TA. Let's get it. So, wow, look what happened to the Dow Jones. I didn't draw a really thick line, a line all the way down to here, but wow, we pretty much bounced time frame wise right when I said we would, and we actually went up to almost to the level that I said we would. I said that this is most likely a bear market retest, just like we had in 2008. Ultimately, we have a head and shoulders here. Here's your neckline. We broke down, we retested, ultimately to reset RSI, to reset MACD, and now we will most likely probably go sideways for a little while and then down and go further to the downside. For that reason, I'm going to continue leaving these lines here. We've left them there for several weeks. We're going to keep leaving them there. But wow, would you believe it? The breakdown and retest. We've talked about this probably 30 or 50 times. Not 30 or 50 times. Probably like 10 to 20 times, that this is perfectly normal in a bear market. You'll have people that scream, stock market bottomed, no recession, no this, no that. Okay, guys, like, one green candle doesn't change everything, and actually this green candle solidifies this head and shoulders and solidifies more bearish sentiment. So I would highly suggest getting rid of people that get very emotional with one colored candle, because we've had this scenario for quite a while and we were prepared for it. S&P 500, same thing. We drew this line to retest. It looks like we've kind of gotten our retest in this area. We know that support isn't just a line, but looks like we kind of got that head and shoulders retest. Ultimately, we could go a little bit higher. We could go sideways and down, but ultimately this is a very, very bearish scenario. This is a bearish retest before continuation to the downside. Again, an RSI reset, probably lower time frame resets like the daily, the 12-hour, 4-hour, everything gets a reset, and then you continue more to the downside. Sold to early room in 28.6 at least. Dude, like, maybe, but I was up several $1,000s, and to be honest with you, I just don't want to watch a chart all day. I think my girlfriend's coming over. I want to make dinner. Probably going to watch Stranger Things. Maybe I'll play Apex later tonight. I don't want to be watching a chart all the time. It's not healthy. Two, it's kind of like there are other things I want to do. And to be fair, I made like $2,700 like in 12 hours. I mean, put that in perspective. $2,700, 12 hours. It's like more than most people get paid in a month. So let's just remember that although it is important to, tops and bottoms, whatever, I'm just, take your profits, man. Take your profits and go do something fun. Like, if it was Thursday or Friday today, I would have sold a lot sooner, because I usually go fishing with my dad on Fridays or fishing with my grandfather. And whether we dropped another 4 to 5%, I still would have made a couple $1,000s, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Hello, bro. I follow you on Twitter. First time. Saw your live trading. I'm asking, are you short in Bitcoin right now? No, I just took profits on my short. S&P could have built the bottom for this year at 3,700. Next summer, market's going to crash heavy. I think they're going to crash over this summer. We'll see. But NASDAQ, although not the cleanest head and shoulders, still dumping. Honestly, kind of in that breakdown retest scenario, honestly, I have no idea where this support is. I guess we'll put it here because that would make more sense. Breakdown retest. Again, very, very bearish scenario. Allows for pull off here so we can continue going lower to the downside. Total charts. So I'm going to pull out the monthly and just kind of give you guys another Actually, we'll do that for Bitcoin just because I have all the strong. So again, we have a breakdown and retest of our close here. Our close line is this golden line. We said that is very, very bearish if we can't get back above it. Ultimately losing the purple line, and we are free falling all the way to 791. There is literally no support from 1.17 to about 775. That would be a capitulation style event. My best guess is retail completely exits the market. And, I love you people that watch my live stream. I love you people in my Discord. But I'm guessing those that may or may not be active traders, they're holding, they're whatever, they're going to sell for a loss in the next couple weeks. We are looking at a very, very possible capitulation style event, whether it be this week, next week, or the week after. This is about as ugly of a chart as I'd see if I was long. Again, you're making closes in a wicked territory, which could still act as support, but we're not getting back above. We're seeing a lot of selling here too. And just because we have several red weeks here, that does not imply that doesn't imply anything other than that there's a lot of selling pressure right now. Just because you have several red candles in a row does not mean that a green one needs to come. We can literally have 20 red weeks in a row. There's nothing that says otherwise. Where do you think capitulation will happen? Most likely below 20K. Actually, most likely below like 28.6. So we'll go from 28.6 like 19.5. The summer is better for all of us. One more year of patience is too much, but we have to. Hey, anytime. And that's just my opinion, like it just really depends on if the Federal Reserve is going to fix these things and if the Biden administration is going to do anything. Because although, we don't try to get too political here, but the Biden administration is literally doing nothing. Like they're not helping. I mean, they're not making it work. I mean, they're kind of making it worse, but they're not helping. They're not trying to do anything. And part of the reason for that is all those politicians want to keep their jobs, right? Like they don't want to throw themselves under the bus or throw us into a recession or raise interest rates significantly, which is what we need to do. We need to raise interest rates like a lot. Like this, we needed to do this a long time ago and they haven't done it. And now we're paying the price for it. So these people need to take dramatic measures, which will cost them their job because it will cost people, people are going to see bad things. I don't know how else to say it. They're going to see bad things. The prices of everything are going to go up. The housing market's probably going to crash some. Stock market's going to crash. And that's all going to be under a Democrat president and Democrat administration. So the Democrats right now, and this is vice versa, even with Republicans. But again, Republicans are more business savvy, so it's not as likely. But again, this is under the Democrats. They want to keep their jobs, so they're trying to stagnate everything before midterms, and then hopefully for midterms they can either stagnate it for another 2 years, or they hope that because Republicans get voted in, that nothing changes, and then they can go into the next presidential election and say, "Oh, see, you guys voted all these Republicans in, and they didn't do anything." But again, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. You're going to see a red wave over the next probably 5 to 10 years. I think a lot of people are sick and tired of the craziness of the left and the lying, especially with social media and the news. And again, I don't really give a shit about politics at all, just giving my opinion. But I just know people are getting fed up, and they're getting fed up with the pronouns, with the wearing masks, with everything. And maybe you are, maybe you aren't, but I know a lot of people that were religiously voting left every single year, and now they're like, I'm done with it. I'm done being lied to. I'm done with this. I'm voting red. So Democrats are socialists? No, I don't think Democrats are socialists. I think, and honestly, this is how I view Democrats and Republicans. I think if you're a well-educated Republican or Democrat, well-educated, you're not just some crazy idiot, and you have purpose and you have facts behind your argument that aren't just emotionally driven, and there are solutions that are reasonable, I think your argument's respected. The problem is you have both left and right people that are so abnormally just off the spectrum that it's ridiculous. And we have policies in place that fit those people's needs because they're so emotionally out of control they can't control themselves. Give me one moment, I'll be right back. It's like 100 degrees outside, and my big black dog is crying at the door because he's dying. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Man's dying outside. He's like 160-pound giant black dog. He's got to get into the air conditioning. When there's no more retail in the market, will it be harder to trade? No, it'll actually be easier to trade because they won't be doing all these scam wicks to liquidate everybody. All right, let's keep continuing. Total 2. Yeah, this is pretty ugly. You guys can see clearly here. We have a breakdown. Again, going to keep this line here because we can see we kind of wicked and bounced. Ultimately, you get below 600, 607 area, things get very, very ugly. Again, I feel like I don't need to point out the obvious, but this is looking like a head and shoulder. And total 3, just about the same thing as total 2. For those of you that don't know the difference between total 2, and total 3, total is all of crypto, total 2 is Ethereum and alts, and total 3 is just alts. So again, ultimately, in really, really bearish territory here. DXY. DXY in my opinion, is very, very bullish. Again, we're seeing this big uptrend with this original double bottom here. We did have a pullback, and that's because RSI was so overbought that it needed a reset. Just like if you're oversold, things bounce because you need to reset. That's stocks bounced because we need a reset. DXY went down because it needed a reset. Ultimately, just kind of bottoming out or figuring out where to bottom, and will most likely continue to the upside. Again, we hit major resistance at 105, and I'm anticipating that this gets to 110 in the next couple months. USDT, whoa, USDT.D. Again, this being green is very, very bearish for crypto. I was anticipating a pullback. It looks like we kind of got a pullback last week, but it's back to green overall. I have to sneeze, and it's just not coming out. I hate when that. Yes, but in price discovery, this is very, very bearish. For crypto, this means that USDT is dominating the market, which means that crypto is being sold and USDT is being taken as profit. Bro, stick to TA. Relax. Democrats are doing and saying the exact same thing that made my country, first world, into a third world country. Motherfucker. Meffert looks like he just woke up from a nap that he made 3K from. No, dude, I like was laying on my bed with like a lot of stomach pain. So probably. Hi Roman, we should share some entry signals. I subscribed on Patreon and on Discord. It's in the trading student chat. You have to link your Patreon and Discord together. That's the only way you're gonna see it. Guys, and if you're going to sign up for Patreon, please read the instructions. I feel like every single person that signs up does not like actually read the instructions. It literally says link your Patreon and Discord, and this is the chat that everyone's talking in, just so you're aware. All right, let's get into Bitcoin. So first things first, going to show off this chart. This is something we've been following for quite some time, and it's going to tell us ultimately where the potential bottom is. For those of you that know, I shared this chart a while back. Basically, what happens is we have a death cross, this yellow under the blue, a retest here of price hitting the 50 weekly, and then basically sideways movement capitulation. Here we saw the retest, a somewhat of a sell-off event, but if I'm going to be completely honest, we have not seen capitulation yet. Our capitulation point is 28.6, this blue line here, and just for visual purposes, we'll move that over a little bit. So basically going below the blue line where there have been multiple bounces in this bull market, or I guess in the previous bull market, will we see capitulation? So here, even in 2017, 2018, you can see several bounces at 6K. Ultimately, everyone had their stop losses right below 6K. So a massive push below it essentially kicked everyone out of the market. Just something to observe. The 200 weekly moving average, this big white line, has been a bottom. However, we have never seen Bitcoin in an economic recession. Keep in mind, this 200, although has never been lost, it could easily be lost. Again, never seen crypto in an economic recession, let alone Bitcoin alone. I would not use this as a guide for altcoins. A lot of your altcoins are going to disappear. They're going to essentially go down 99.99%, just like Luna 1.0 did. If you think I'm kidding, look what happened to the majority of altcoins after 2018. Really, the only strong altcoins were Ethereum, Link, and some of the gaming tokens. I know a lot of coins went up, but they were newer projects. They've never seen a lot of the coins that made big gains in the last 2 or 3 years had never seen a bear market or a capitulation style event. So keep that in mind. But let's get into the daily. Let's set this up and get into. But also when your friends are crying to borrow. Buy alts when your friends are call you crying to borrow some money. Again, I wouldn't buy alts unless I wouldn't stack altcoins. I would only buy altcoins when we know for a fact we're in a bull market. That's a huge rising wedge on Bitcoin. Yeah, I had it there just for observation. Where do you think one could start to DCA? I'm not DCAing until we're literally in the lower 20s, until we capitulate. So basically, you'll lose this area of support, and then you start at the next area of support. So here, and then the next one, which is at 12. And then I believe the next one's at... There's that sneeze. Whew! That feels way better. Way better. Why this thing? A hard time today. But essentially, you want to do it after capitulation, which we have not seen yet. We have not seen... Not. But all right, the daily. So first things first, a lot of people asked, what is divergence? How do I determine it? So divergence, again, is when you have price. Let's say your price is doing this, and you're basically making lower lows with price. Well, RSI should be moving opposite for divergence. Basically, RSI will do this. And essentially, you're making higher lows with lower lows. This is divergence. Or you'll have two bottoms here, like a double bottom pattern, and you'll still have bullish divergence like this. That's another indication where this is potential divergence. Regardless, let's go to the 15-minute because I'm pretty sure there's bullish divergence. So here you go. Here is a perfect example of bullish divergence. Does this mean that you should long here? I would suggest not, because our higher time frames are extremely bearish right now. But this is bullish divergence. You have lower lows, and you're making higher lows here. So this is an example of bullish divergence. Where will we bounce from this? Probably here and then continue going down. But just an example of bullish divergence and what that looks like. That's, again, a big reason why I took profit, because I saw bullish divergence on the 15. And honestly, this volume is still pretty weak on the... Not anticipating this to break 28.6 just yet. Although it could. This is actually a reversal pattern. Very, very ugly reversal pattern at that. And it wouldn't surprise me if we just kept going lower. But yeah, I still am seeing lower volume. However, our volume for a reversal pattern is looking very solid. This is a doji reversal, whatever. I've seen it plenty of times. However, I would still consider this a bear flag. We did not make a higher high. We rejected right at the peak resistance here, which also acted as somewhat support here, and really nothing else beyond that. Regardless, the bottom you want to pay attention to is 28,600. If we start closing candles below this, we are going much, much lower. How much lower? Guys, like, we're talking the next support being possibly 22, but all the way down to about 19.7 thousand. This notion that Bitcoin can't break a prior all-time high, like 2017's 20,000 all-time high, is just completely bogus. Bitcoin's never seen an economic recession. Volatile assets always sell off the hardest, and it would not surprise me if we saw like a 13K Bitcoin. What's my profit-taking strategy? That entirely depends on how I invest. If I'm DCAing, I want at least a 5 to 10x. If I'm swing trading, I take profits when I see exhaustion on the daily. If I'm scalping, which I did today, I take profits. I don't know. I just take them whenever. I mean, when I feel like we're near support and I feel like we couldn't go down anymore. But yeah, even Binance is showing a lot of selling volume here. I believe we still have an hour and a half left. So this candle will outpace the previous one, which again, this is why volume matters. And if your favorite trader doesn't have volume on their chart, stop following them. But essentially, for this reversal to confirm, you want to see this candle's volume higher than, you want to see the red candle volume higher than this candle. So essentially, or even equal. You can have it equal, that still counts. But overall, I mean, it's still very low volume. We're honestly just consolidating for a move to the downside. This is not, none of this says reversal to me. There are no bullish divergences. MACD is again starting to weaken here. The daily looks like it's getting ready to move to the downside. Let's look at a 4 hour. So 4 hour, last 4 hours have been pretty red. Would not surprise me if we had some green. Maybe retest this area of resistance at 30,800 before continuing lower. That would allow a lot of these lower time frames to reset. Again, our 15-minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, they're very, very oversold. So a bounce would not surprise me. You guys know that, or even just sideways movement, like something like that before going down. Nothing ever just goes down in a straight line. We know that consolidation or a bounce is needed for continuation. Overall, I mean, guys, I feel like this is plainly obvious when I said that this is a fake pump to either liquidate people or set up a distribution schematic where essentially you had the U.S. holiday. They were able to push it up because there's no volume. Again, very, very low volume here. And notice, and I've said this 100 times, when volume comes in, we are most likely going to dump. Well, look, we had volume come in, and where did we go? To the downside. So if you were one of the people that bought anywhere in this area here, just know that in the future, you want to pay attention to volume because this volume was very, very low. Anything that's below this yellow line here is considered low volume. So this breakout was not a true breakout. Again, the diagonal line here that was on everybody's chart, this breakout candle, again, extremely low volume. That is most likely a fake out. If you'd like to see an example, I can show you, which actually, let's pull out the example. Perfect example is right over here. We had a diagonal here. We had a breakout here, but the breakout was with extremely low volume. And again, dumped right after. We actually dumped like 30% after. So, yes, did we eventually bottom here, but did you really want to buy this breakout to see price drop 30%? A good trader doesn't put 30% risk into his strategy. That's just not how that works. You have any advice on adding on the retest? Still in short from the right shoulder last night. I think you just add the retest. You either add or don't. Watch volume. I mean, at the end of the day, I can't make the trade for you. You just gotta. I mean, like we might not even go to 30,800. We might just bounce here and then go down. So again, I would suggest doing your own research on that, taking your own risk on that approach. Thoughts on the Lightning Network being offered by big retailers end of year 2020? The Lightning Network being offered is great, but again, it's not. This market isn't pushed by catalysts. It's pushed by supply and demand. So people attribute everything to like a catalyst, and what was the catalyst over the weekend for this to go up? Because the U.S. was on holiday. Again, what's the catalyst that we dumped? It isn't. It's supply and demand. It's accumulation, distribution. That's why TA works so well in this market, and it's very easy to read on higher time frame. Because this market isn't pushed by earnings or catalysts like new products coming out. It's entirely pushed by supply and demand. And volume is probably the number one indicator in this market. And again, if your favorite trader isn't using volume as an indicator, get rid of them. They don't know what they're doing in this market. And I'm very serious about that. Volume is the utmost importance in this market. All right, let's keep moving forward. Let's look at a 1 hour. So let's talk about this trade. For those of you that are in my trading class, you guys know that I called this pretty accurately. I actually show you our chat. Let's see. Let's see if we can find a picture. Might just have to scroll it because I know it's up here. Let's see if we can find it. I know I can search. I'm just getting lazy. I know it's like right up here. Yeah, lots of people made really good money. There was a guy that made like 32,000, and then another guy that made like 25. It was crazy. I was like, you guys need to take profits right now. Like, that's a lot of money in one day. Let's see. Let's see. Where is it? And this is ridiculous. Give up, but I know it's literally right up here. So, one moment, please, and thank you. A lot of good memes in here, though. A lot of good memes. And for those of you that don't know, there is a free part of the Discord. There's a crypto chat. It's just like the general chat everyone's in that shares analysis. We have other analysts that are trustworthy, and they're very, very good at what they do. But this is what I initially said yesterday about 4 p.m. Eastern. I saw this, and we anticipated the right shoulder forming. Ultimately, seeing that it formed here. So where did I say to take the short? On the right shoulder. The right shoulder formed at about 31.8, 31.7. And then we can see the clear dump here. Our neckline was around here at 31.450. So ultimately add on the right shoulder and then add on the breakdown. Or if you really wanted to, maybe add on the retest, but we didn't get a retest. So ultimately, pretty big dump, pretty much expected. On top of that, we also saw that the higher time frames, like the daily, this pump was completely bogus. And we pretty much figured that this was going to happen. It was very much in our face from the beginning and played out very, very nicely. And again, this is just one call of several that we've made over the last, or several that I've made over the last 2 to 3 weeks in that chat. I try to post more macro stuff on Twitter because people don't understand the difference between a scalp, a swing, and a macro thesis. So I try to just stick to macro there. If you're interested, definitely take advantage of it. I also have the trading classes as well, but just walking through the actual trade. So if you ever see this on a chart, you know how to trade it. You want to enter or anticipate that right side shoulder and then add again below the neckline. The neckline is basically where the most points of contact are, the most points of bounce. Yes, this went below the neckline. That's actually completely normal with the head and shoulders. Again, there you go. Why did I take profits right about here? Because I don't want to watch a chart all day, because the 1 hour is massively oversold. And again, if we just do a quick zoom out and do one of these, we can see that most of our bottoms before bouncing, and this is just strictly looking at RSI, right? So other factors aside, we actually bounce or continue sideways whenever we hit this point here at about 16 points, which we hit. So I said, I'm just going to take profits, let it ride. If I see consolidation, I'll re-enter. But for now, I just want to take profits and go live my life. Because, again, I was up a couple $1,000s. I had a couple other people that were up tens of thousands of dollars. And, guys, trading, half the battle in trading is taking profits. Get used to taking profits. Take them when you're up significantly. Take them when things look oversold and look ready to bounce. If this was a swing trade and I saw this, I would just continue holding it. But again, it's not. It's a scalp. It's a scalp short. Can you explain what the time difference between the charts and the real time, like when you say 15 minutes or 30 or 1 hour, how do we calculate this time? Thank you. Like the 15-minute chart is 15 minutes between each candle. I don't know how else to explain that. I would go watch a YouTube video on it. I'm going to be honest. I think my stream actually reset. Because it said, saying oh no. That's so weird. I think the chat reset. What happened into that? But yeah, essentially anticipating a bounce. Does that mean long? No, I would not long right now. This is a bearish reversal pattern. Unless I see something like this where we get a bullish reversal pattern, then I'll take the long here. But until then, guys, you never want to just long when you see a bunch of red like this. That's called trying to catch a falling knife. Falling knives can literally just do this, and you'll get liquidated or stopped out, or your stop might not get hit, depending on the exchange you're in. So I would, again, wait for that accumulation pattern to form. If it's a double bottom, it's a double bottom. If it's an inverted head and shoulders, so be it. Again, we are very oversold, but I am anticipating somewhat of a bounce. Let's look at dominance and then look at Ethereum, and we'll call it a day. So dominance, extremely bullish. I mean, guys, we've broken out of our descending wedge here. This is really, really bad for altcoins. Your altcoins are about to basically lose all their value. If I'm going to put it very basic, your altcoins are going to get absolutely slaughtered over the next couple months. We followed this double bottom. We followed this double bottom. We followed the breakout. I don't know how other to explain that. Maybe this will dump a little bit. Maybe do this. But again, we've broken the diagonal resistance. If I can show you what happened in 2018 when we just went up sideways and kept going up, alts got absolutely torn to shreds, and that's what I'm expecting again. So for those of you that think a huge bounce is coming or think altcoins are going to do crazy things, I'm telling you the craziest thing alts are going to do is dump. And I'm telling you right now, for those of you that this is your first bear market, just because Bitcoin goes up does not mean that altcoins are going to go up. I'd actually argue that altcoins are most likely going to go down when Bitcoin goes up. That's how dominance works. All right, let's look at Ethereum and then Ethereum to Bitcoin. So Ethereum's one day is looking pretty rough. We can see that we had some support here. It looks like we've got clearly some support here at 1700. 1700, I believe. Oh, no, it's 1400. So 1700 is the level for capitulation. Could this potentially be a double bottom? I would argue that yes, it can possibly be a double bottom because we're seeing volume go much lower. Let's even look at some of our other exchanges. Yeah, I like that. And that's still a lot of volume. And this is Binance. So I don't know. We would have to see what Bitcoin does. But honestly, this isn't bad or yet. We could see, another red candle bounce off the 1700 level and go much higher. Again, this is just my TA. I don't necessarily think this will be a double bottom, but it's very possible. We're also seeing some bearish, exhaustive price action here. I do not like the look of this, though, and we will get a bullish divergence right here. So this is something to pay attention to. There is a big possibility that Ethereum could run a bit in the coming days to weeks. I would pay attention to the 1700, and just for the sake of everybody, we're going to put an alert at 1740. That way we have a little bit of space to. That would make sense. So 1740, we'll keep an eye on that. If we get down to like 1723 all the way down to 1700, maybe potentially take a long a swing at this. But yeah, no, I'm really liking the price action. Definitely looks like we could be seeing something like this possibly, or like this double bottom here. We saw again bullish divergences here, double bottom. We had exhaustive bearish price action here with the volume going down as prices going down. Something to consider. So when would you buy? Again, around 1700, 1720 level. Where would you put your stop? Like 1680. So that's about you're looking at about a 2 or 3% risk, depending on the percentage of your portfolio you're putting in. All right, let's look at Ethereum to Bitcoin and then call it a day. So the thing that I don't like, and this is something I really don't like, calling out that Ethereum trade. This is a head and shoulders, and it's been confirmed on Ethereum to Bitcoin. This means that Bitcoin is most likely going to go up in value. When Bitcoin goes up in value versus Ethereum, that means that both are dumping, but Bitcoin's dumping less. We know that when essentially when we're in a bear market, alts hold their value much less than Bitcoin. We're in a bull market, alts go up much more than Bitcoin goes up. So it would make sense that confirming this pattern, confirming this breakdown, we just continue going lower. However, again, it would not surprise me if we saw some kind of double bottom here. something to keep an eye out. Don't quote me, but it's very, very possible on this daily that we get one. I don't like how I really don't like the way that this looks. Like from the midpoint to the lower point, it's 15%. Again, don't like that because even here, I believe it was like 8%. And then from here, I mean, this just looks like a very clean double bottom in here. That's 30%. But I don't know. I don't really like the way this looks yet. We'll see what happens at 1700 if we get there. We'll see. ETH is too big to be a normal alt. Yeah, I don't really consider it to be a normal alt, but it's still going to act like an altcoin in a bear market. So ultimately, I'm planning that it goes down more. And for those of you that don't know, I'm mostly DCAing Ethereum when I do DCA because it goes up a shit ton in a bull market. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, sorry for the late start and the I guess drowsiness. I have a stomach ache from eating eggs. Don't know what happened, but yeah, that was my problem today. If you're interested in a new exchange, I highly suggest using Bitget. They raised their initial deposit bonus from $153 to $4,163. Just a huge opportunity to take some bonus cash with you. Been using Bitget for a while. Really like them. Really low fees, really high liquidity. You can put stop and take profit orders at the same time. You can long and short at the same time. If you're like, you want some kind of like, let's say you're in a big short, but you think that there's a smaller long play on a lower time frame, and you can do that. Guys, with all that said, please be patient, use risk management, and good luck trading.